This is Dr. Quinlan with Quinlan Chiropractic Clinic from Coppell, Texas, and you're listening to the Dunham Business Radio Show.
Hi there, this is Lori Dunham with Dunham Business Radio. We won the 2019 Gray Bowl Show of the Year. We also got an award for community service, and I can't thank you enough for all of your support. We are on the next level, and we're going higher, and I can't do it without you, and I'm so grateful. Thank you so much, and stay tuned in. Hi everybody, this is Lori with Dunham Business Radio. I am super excited about what's coming up here this summer. We are going on the next level. And you know what? We're doing it for you. You helped us grow. You helped our numbers just increase, and we're making an impact on entrepreneurs all around the world. We're coming to North American cities near you. And I am super excited to announce that we are collaborating with CK Productions, an award-winning film production company out of New York City. We're filming a documentary that will depict the journey of the entrepreneur. You know, we've come through an amazing time in 2020. We survived, but you know, there's a lot of businesses out there that need help, and we are on the forefront, and we want to help them.
Right now, we're looking for your contribution, your help to make this amazing project happen. We want to put a focus on small businesses, especially after the crazy year we have all endured.
If you've been listening to Lori's radio program, you know what a powerful storyteller she is and how she connects people and local leaders in businesses. So consider making a donation to make the ripple effect a reality.
Support this event and this amazing documentary because it highlights the superheroes in our country. From day to day, people go in from 9 to 5, but business owners go in, as we know, from 8 to 8. Those 12-hour days that we go day after day, there's no weekends, there's no vacations. And during the pandemic, we've done everything we could to stay open. A lot have closed their doors, and maybe this event will inspire them to reopen or help each other learn how to succeed in business in the future.
It costs a lot of money to bring an event like this to your city, and we're asking for your help, your financial contribution. Please dig down deep. Help us to make a ripple effect and a positive impact in the lives of small businesses and entrepreneurs right there in your hometown.
In addition to supporting a bunch of small businesses around the country, we're also looking to support local nonprofits in each one of our amazing cities we'll be visiting. A portion of all of our ticket sales will be donated directly to these local nonprofits so they can continue making a difference within their communities.
So at the end of the day, if you're riding on the fence of whether or not you should attend this event or even step up to the plate and be a part of it, I mean, you never know where it's going to take you. The people that you meet and the people that you get close to and create a network with, well, that could eventually become your net worth. So being in a room of like-minded people, like-minded individuals who have a goal, who have a dream, who want to grow in their business, and just being in the space where you can get a piece of that and catch some fire that might propel you to where you want to go, that's priceless, really.
We are giving back to our supporters, both here and afar. We're going city to city supporting small business and entrepreneurs and leaders in local areas as well as nonprofits.
We're going to be out there with positive vibes, connecting businesses, connecting local leaders. You're going to get a big boost of energy.
I get so emotional when I talk about being an entrepreneur. You're called to be an entrepreneur. And if you don't answer that, you know, you're really not honoring something that is truly can impact the world. I really do believe that.
I'm excited to be a part of this event because it gives me the opportunity to really talk about what I'm passionate about. That is health and wellness and helping not only individual people, but companies.
I'm looking forward for this event. Honestly, every event I go to, it's like it brings joy to my heart because I just love seeing everyone. I love the people. I love talking to everyone. And especially after the COVID and speaking to the camera, I just want to see everyone live.
I want to show the world that small business owner is so important that we need to stand up and support them together. Because without them, our world will be broken.
It's very important as a business owner to invest. Sometimes we invest in things that do not have a return on investment, and we never feel okay about that missed opportunity. But this is an opportunity you don't have to miss out on. The return on investment is not just dollars in your pocket, it's the exposure, it's the education, and it's the fact that you know you're a part of the ripple effect for your community. That ripple effect is the ROI that is endless and endless on return.
Check out all the information on our page to learn more about our project, to learn about our documentary, and to learn how you can help out and other ways you might be able to help out beyond donating.
We need your help. We need your financial support. We're not pulling any punches here. We want to make a difference, and our project, The Ripple Effect, is going to make an impact in the lives of people around the country. Please dig down deep. Help us make this an amazing tour, and help us make this event something that will make history.
Live from Arlington, Texas, it's the Dunham Business Radio Show. And here's your host, Lori Dunham.
Hello and good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Dunham Business Radio Show. I am your host, Lori Dunham. Oh, I am so excited you're here. Thank you again for tuning in. We have another amazing guest to share with you tonight. She is an incredible businesswoman. But hey, before we jump in and get started, please ping your friends, let them know we're here. We are open for questions and comments, and you don't want to miss tonight's interview. It's just going to be eye-opening and inspiring, and of course that's what we always try to do, right? So super excited, and so let's just jump right in, because I have a lot of questions. I want a lot of things I want to talk about, a lot of things I want to ask our guest. And so let me just introduce you to our amazing guest who's going to be joining us tonight. I have the privilege of speaking with Becky Launder. She is the CEO and founder of My Consultant Training and the author of 52 Tips to Build a Thriving Direct Sales Business. She's the brains behind the Modern Direct Seller Academy and the Direct Sales Insights Survey. Her professional background is in marketing strategy, leadership training, and direct selling. With a master's in leadership and management, she spent over a decade working in operations and marketing with an amazing company, training leaders all across the world. And when her direct sales business began to skyrocket, she quickly abandoned the 9-to-5 job. And she is here tonight to tell us all about how she did it and how she took that jump. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome to the show, my friend, Becky Launder. Welcome.
Hey, how's it going?
Fantastic.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm super excited.
Absolutely. I'm excited to talk. Let's dive in.
Yeah. So first off, let's tell everybody a little bit more about just your background. Who are you? Where did you come from, and why direct sales?
Well, direct sales was never like my desired career path. If you would have asked me 10 years ago, I would have had no idea that this is what I would actually be doing. But a little bit of my background, I worked for a leadership training company for over a decade. After I had my second kiddo, I was looking for a little bit more flexibility. So I stumbled upon a direct sales company, loved their products. Before I knew it, it had taken off and pretty much replaced my corporate income. And from there, things just really snowballed. I absolutely love training. I love strategy. And I started training my team. And before I knew it, I was training people outside of my team, but still within the same direct sales company. And it really just expanded from there. But now I train hundreds of thousands of direct sellers across the entire industry and absolutely love what I get to do every day.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Oh my goodness. So let's tell everybody, how did we meet? I mean, we don't know each other right now, right? We kind of engaged initially on Facebook.
Yeah, I think it was a Facebook conversation, which is, I mean, how so many are building a business right now using online marketing and social media to connect and build relationships and grow your network. And yeah, I think that's how we kind of stumbled across each other's businesses.
That's right. That's right. So that's what's really awesome about this show is that it gives me an opportunity to reach out and talk to people I normally wouldn't talk to. That's where I get my confidence from, right? I say, hey, come be on the show. And they're like, yeah, let's talk about it, you know?
Why not? Yeah. And all your listeners get to kind of tune in and listen to this conversation and be kind of a fly on the wall, which is kind of fun.
That's right. That's right. They get to eavesdrop. That's what's really fun about it. So I will say, you know, direct sales, multi-level marketing, network marketing, attraction marketing, relationship marketing, right? These are all these new little buzzwords.
About 5,000 different names for it, right?
Right. They're all used coinciding with one another. But they all basically do the same thing. And that is, it goes back to the very beginning of traditional advertising. And that is that word of mouth is the best form of marketing. What do you think about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, how many times are you taking a recommendation from a friend, or you hear somebody that's posting about a product on social media, and then you're thinking, well, maybe I should try that product, right? So that's really what it comes down to, is all of these companies are really built on relationships, whether that is your warm market, people that know, like, and trust you, or, you know, maybe more cold market people that you're meeting at vendor events or networking events or in the social media online space. And they all kind of go back to you being able to personally serve your customer, which is one thing that I really love about direct sales. And I think it really differentiates it from a lot of other businesses out there. And that's why people aren't shopping at a big box store. They're shopping with you because they want that level of service from you, which is kind of exciting and special in a lot of ways.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, really, when you think about direct sales or network marketing, I mean, I think that, you know, a lot of people approach it in the wrong way, right? I've heard it marketing. I don't want to be gross, but I want to have fun here, right? So marketing vomit, you know,
right.
And I see why that happens. And it's happened to me. Like, I'll be just, you know, out there making friends for the show. And even before I even had the show, years and years ago, someone would approach me and say, hey, buy my product. Hey, buy my service. Hey. And it's like, wall, you know,
I don't even know
right
you.
Away. Yeah. What?
I don't even know you, right?
Yeah.
When you get those messages from people, you're like, how are you trying to sell me something? I've never even had a conversation with you before, right?
Right. And it even comes from people you do know. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So your friends, and I see why it happens this way, because they have tapped into something they're so passionate about. They found an answer, right? They filled a gap in their life. They found the income they were looking for, the potential for it. They found a product that solves a problem. They found, you know, a solution, and they want to share it with you. And they think, this fixed my solution, so it must fix yours. You've got to buy my product. You got to buy my service. And oh, by the way, by doing that, you're going to help me save for my retirement. And, you know, and I think when you think about the psychology of things, and we can talk about each of these individually, but we think about the psychology of things. First off, people only want to do business with people they know, like, and trust, unless they are your family. And then you don't want to do business with your family. They're the first people to tell you that won't work. Go away. Get away from me. In most cases, in many cases. And then there's people don't want to be sold to. I mean, that's what commercials are on the TV. That's why we record our shows and fast forward through the commercials, right? We don't want to be sold to. And then you kind of think about, okay, the best way maybe to approach this would be that we want it to be your idea, and you want to come to me. But that, for a seller or a person presenting the product, that's torture, because you're waiting on them to make a decision about something that you have right now. You don't want them to wait. So I think those three approaches, let's talk about those. So talk about, doing business with your family, and that rejection can really set you in the downward spiral if you don't have that support.
Yeah. And, I think what you said about the direct sales industry, network marketing, MLM, like there's a little bit of people hear those names and they're like, it's spammy, it's gross, it's not something I want to be a part of, because most likely they've had a bad experience with somebody in this industry. So one of the things that I'm on a mission to do is to really, kind of help this industry be taken a little bit more serious. And I think that all starts with training and helping people really figure out the best way to approach these relationships in a genuine and authentic way. And I feel like that all starts with relationship building. So it's knowing somebody and getting to know them and understanding the challenges that they're facing. And maybe your product is a solution for those challenges. Maybe it's not. But after you've developed a relationship, it's a whole lot easier to introduce a product or a business opportunity when you know the person, right? So a lot of this work, which is hard to do, is relationship building and getting in front of people and getting to know them and really listening to them and understanding what they have going on, and then sharing what you have going on in your business, rather than, like you said, those cold messages that you get from somebody you haven't talked to in 10 years or somebody in your family that's like, please, I have a goal to meet. I have to reach my September goal. Will you just buy this one thing from me? That is exactly the opposite of how I recommend approaching this business. And I think a lot of that stems with people just not knowing any better. For many people in direct sales or network marketing, it is their first experience and step into business. And maybe from there, they start another business. But it does give you a little bit of training and skills to kind of figure out, like, how is the right way to do this? And how am I going to find success in this industry without all of my friends and family and acquaintances running the other direction, right? So I think it really comes down to that relationship building, really connecting with people, being authentic in your approach, and really sharing your story with people. I think that makes a big difference too.
I'm really glad you said that, because something that I really want the audience to understand is really, who is Becky, right? I mean, you're very successful in this industry, and tell a little bit more about your successes. You've grown several multi-million-dollar businesses and hundreds of thousands of affiliates and whatnot. Talk a little bit more about that, to kind of share your story so people know really who you are and why you're the expert right now.
Yeah, I mean, in the direct sales businesses that I ran, and now I'm not actively selling any product or with a company. I am, working with individuals that are direct sellers, and then I also have corporate clients. So I'm working kind of on the inside of direct sales organizations to train their sales force. But as I was building those businesses, it really was all about the customer, right? Like I have a framework, which I call the Modern Direct Seller Framework, and it's a 3-step process. The first step is getting in front of as many people as you can. I really built my businesses through vendor events. Other people might have different approaches to get in front of people, but for me, it was vendor events. And I would spend Saturdays out at a vendor event or a show or a pop-up, and people would come and shop my product. They'd drop their name in for a giveaway or a raffle. I would do my due diligence. I'd follow up with them. I'd build that relationship with them, invite them to shop with me in the future. And really from there, like that's how the business started. My team grew because I built such great connections with my customers. Like the natural progression in direct sales is to be a customer. Then maybe if it's a party-based company, or hosting a party for that rep, and then potentially joining the business. So a lot of my success came from getting in front of people, for number one. Number two, I had a lot of systems on the inside. So I'm all about like working smarter, not harder. So having email automation in place and having follow-up systems and tools to manage my customers, so I remembered who was who and what they bought last and when would be a good time to follow up with them. So I had a lot of that happening kind of on the back end. And then the third part of that success formula is really having to ask. And people chicken out about asking because in order to be successful in this business, you kind of have to put your big girl pants on. You have to step out of your comfort zone, and you do have to make those asks. You have to ask people if they're ready to make a purchase, if you could help order something for them. Ask them if they want to host a party for you. Ask them if they're interested in learning more about what it's like to be in the business. So with all the automation that was happening in the background, I could really get a good idea of who was most interested in my product. They were the ones opening my emails. They were the ones engaging with me on social media. So I was able to prioritize out of all of those people that I met at vendor events or online, doing parties, wherever, I would really focus in on those that were most interested in what I was up to. And then I would follow up with them and make those asks.
Wow, that's amazing. I think that's one of the greatest tools is the automation. And I think that's what's missing. There's been many companies out there that they offer, the replicated website, which is nobody wants that, it's gross, and I mean, I've had the replicated websites and I'm like, that's not me. That's not how I talk. That's not. And I've taken a domain.
Show your personal brand,
right? It's not.
You need to let people know who you are, and it's hard to do that in a cookie cutter website that's handed over to you from your company.
Absolutely, yeah. And so I've taken like domain names and pointed it to it, and tried to be clever with the domain name. I had one time, and I don't think the domain's available anymore. But it was BE PO PONO MO. Be po no mo.
Love it.
So I can have a lot of fun with domain names, right? And be like, and I had a little back in the day, it was postcards. It was little pink postcards with black letters, and all it had on it was beponomo.com, and it was the whole idea. Just go to my website. It tells you everything you need to know. There was no phone number. There was no, just go to the website. Yeah. And I've even had my back window had labels on the back of my window on my car with a fancy little website, that was just pointed to the company replicated site. And I got big fat zero sales every single time I was pointing them to the replicated site. And I'm thinking, other people are using that. How come I can't do the same thing, and I think, there's people in the audience, right? And they've heard about this. Like we said, there's like a bad taste in our mouth about it because it's such a different model than corporate America. Right. But really, it's not.
It's really not.
Go ahead.
I think that's where we get it wrong, right? So we think, we're just going to be given this business in a box. We have the replicated website. The products are proven. We have an upline or a team that's going to give us the training that we need. And in many ways, that works for people. But I find that those that are building like a long-term, big, sustainable business in direct sales, they really have to get out there and build their personal brand. So it goes beyond just, pointing a URL to a replicated site. It's creating a personal blog or a website that really shares your story. It's thinking about it as a business, right? So what am I going to invest in this business to get in front of as many people as possible so I can narrow in and focus on those that are most engaged and interested in what I have to offer? And I think using systems beyond what's provided by a direct sales company is often what you have to do to really build in a big, sustainable way. And treating it like a business. I think that it's easy to kind of brush it off and say, it's a hobby, or it's my little side gig I do. And I hear that all the time, like my little tiny, my little direct sales business over here. But if that's the way of you're thinking about it, it's going to be really hard to be taken seriously when you go out there and you make those asks and you're willing to show up and step out of your comfort zone when people are thinking of it just as your little side project over here. So treating it like a business, like a corporation, and being smart about your investments and being really intentional about the work that you're doing really will differentiate you from so many others out there in the industry.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think, when we look at corporate America and we look at this industry, this direct sales industry, they are exactly the same, except you are now the CEO of your own company versus being on the bottom, doing all the work for another CEO. So, I'm going to say the two words that everybody wants to throw out there. When you tell them about it, they go, oh, it's a pyramid scheme, right? Well, guess what corporate America is? A pyramid. Guess what a school administration is? A pyramid. It's I just don't understand it when people say, oh, it's a pyramid scheme. No, if you told me it was a Ponzi scheme, then I would run for the hills, right? But a pyramid scheme, corporate America is the worst pyramid scheme there is, because you don't get any of the profit. You go and you work your butt off, and you might get a gold watch, maybe.
Right. I think that one of the beauties of direct sales, I mean, maybe it's a benefit and a curse, right? Is it truly is what you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. So if you are treating it like a business and you're showing up every day and you're holding yourself accountable and you're setting big goals and you're connecting with the right people that are going to help take you to the next level, you're going to be successful, right? I think that's the reality of it. But a lot of people just don't quite have that self-motivation behind them to get up and do the work every day without a boss telling them what to do. So what won't happen in direct sales or network marketing is you won't have somebody saying, okay, it's Tuesday. Here's the 3 things you need to get done on Tuesday, and I expect to see it done by Wednesday. Really, it's up to you to create your own to-do list and prioritize what's most important and really, be self-motivated to take that business to the next level, because nobody else is going to do the work for you. You're going to have to get up every morning and do that work, even on the days when you don't want to. Trust me, I've been there. I've had those days where I'm like, oh, I'd much rather just go to the beach today. But really, I think it's treating it like a business, and you're the CEO and you have to wake up and you have to motivate yourself and do the hard work. I find time and time again that direct sellers love to do kind of the fun stuff in the business. Like we love reorganizing our products or creating really pretty social media graphics and doing those fun activities, but they're not income generating activities.
That's it.
So really being able to focus your time on what's going to get you the biggest results in your business is huge. That's right there is the key to success. Who cares about the pretty images on social media or having the best display of products? It really is doing the work that's going to get you the sales, because again, what you put into it is what you get out of it. There's no hourly rate.
That's right.
Going to get paid straight commission for the results that you're getting in your business.
Right. You can write your own paycheck, and what's interesting, I think, and it all goes down to mindset, right? I think it was Henry Ford who said, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
That's the truth.
Right. Yeah. And I think too, when you're coming from a place where our education system trains you to be an employee, they teach you to get through high school, go to college, get a good job, go get trained for a job to work for someone else. And then you get to working for someone else and all of a sudden you're like, wait, what's that over there? I want to do that. But you have the mentality or the training from corporate America. And then you get over to start working in your own business. And the mentality is that, if I work for corporate, I work a week, I get a paycheck. And I put in a certain amount of hours, I get a certain amount of dollars. Well, when you go into your own business, and this is even if it's not direct sales, right? If this is like, if you open up a salon, or you open up a candy store, or you open up a coffee shop, you're going to put in a heck of a lot more hours in your business in the beginning and not see a whole lot of money at first, right? So the mindset has to shift. You have to say, it doesn't matter. I'm not making money right this hour, but the work I'm putting in is going to build into kind of like compound interest. of my own energy, of time. And that time is going to accumulate over time. And then all of a sudden one day, boom, here comes all of the work that I've done. It's going to pay off.
And I honestly think that so many direct sellers and network marketers quit before that happens, right? And I get it. Like, we're in a world of like instant results. Like, you order on Amazon, it comes tomorrow, right? Like, we live in a world where things happen quickly. And I think that especially when you're excited about a product, or you think it's the best thing that's ever come across your plate, like you're so excited about it, then you think everyone else will be just as excited about it, right? But it goes back to the whole notion of, in marketing, it takes somebody 7 times to see something before they're ready to make a purchase. I heard recently in the world of online marketing, it takes 21 times. Like, some of the numbers are crazy out there. So I think setting up your business with the expectation of, I'm going to be building. Like, these first couple months, I'm going to be putting in the work. I'm going to be learning the product. I'm going to be networking. I'm going to be connecting. I'm going to be building relationships. I'm going to be doing the training. I'm going to be learning. And if I get some sales along the way, that's great. But knowing that all of that work you're doing in the beginning is going to have a return, it just takes a little bit of time to see that return. I think most small businesses, it takes more than a year to become profitable, right? Like, it's a no-brainer. If you're starting your own brick and mortar or your own online business, you might not be profitable for that first year. So in direct sales and network marketing, you can shorten that time period quite a bit, right? Like, you can see some return on your hard work much sooner than that, but it still doesn't happen overnight. It still takes you waking up every morning, even when you don't want to, and putting in the work and building those relationships. And over time, like you said, compound interest, right? Like, over time, it all adds up and you see those results. But yeah, it doesn't happen overnight. No matter what anyone tells you, money doesn't just fly out of the sky and land in your lap.
That's right. So I want to go back to something that we just touched on, and it's called income-driven activities. And I remember when I first, I've been working for the corporate entity for, I don't know, since I was 13 years old, right? I had my first, actually, when I was, I'll just tell you this. I think my audience knows this too, but my first business transaction was when I was 5 years old.
Oh my goodness. I love that. An entrepreneur from early ages.
Yeah, I knew I was meant to be an entrepreneur when I was 5. I attempted to sell my mother's coffee table legs to our neighbor for $1.
Were you successful?
I was.
I love that. So good.
And she not only gave me the $1, but she said, "Go return those legs to your mom before she has a heart attack."
Right? So funny. I love that.
So I knew I was meant to be an entrepreneur, but I didn't know what it was called. I mean, I was 5, for heaven's sake, right? So, you go through the education system, graduate high school, but when I was 13, I got a paper route. Now, a paper route is very much like your own business. For those of you out there listening, a paper route is an old school way of delivering the news to doorsteps with an actual newspaper. And I lived up north, and so even when it was raining, snowing, sleeting, when it was hot, it didn't matter. I had a form of transportation that got me to deliver those papers. And so I'll give you an example. In the snow, when it was winter, I had this very durable plastic bag that they used for mail delivery. And I put all my newspaper stacks in that, and I put it on my sled and tied the rope around my waist with my snowmobile suit and walked through the snow, stopping along my route to get papers and bring them up to the doors and ring the doorbell, let people know their newspaper was there.
Oh my goodness.
And I had, I don't even know how many newspapers I had on my route, but here's the thing. You could, the rule, excuse me, the rule was that you could deliver the newspaper anytime that day, but your customers demanded that they get it while they're drinking their coffee in the morning.
Sure.
So you're getting up at dawn, or else you're getting a phone call saying, "Where are you and where's my paper?" And then not only did you have to motivate yourself to get up, even if it was below zero and you had to walk in the dark And, you know, and like that old adage, you know, I walked uphill both ways to school. Well, you know,
No
I walked in a circle in the snow to deliver newspapers. But the thing was, is, you know, you had to motivate yourself to get up. Sometimes I enlisted the help of my mom to drive me in the car because it was just so cold. But we had a car that didn't have heat. So we had to roll with the windows down. So I could have walked and been warmer, but you know, it seemed to be faster. But you also had to collect the money once a week. You had to go around. Now this was back before they would actually, you know, internet didn't exist. Okay, so I'm dating myself. Okay, so you can't pay online. You can't get the news online. There is no internet. And so you would drop off a paper slip in the beginning of the week that they had to pay. And sometimes they paid monthly, sometimes they paid weekly. You had to keep up with that. And as a 13-year-old person, that was business, right?
That's a lot of responsibility.
Absolutely. You had to go collect it on Friday and pray they were home, because if not, then Saturday, you, instead of out playing with your friends or whatever, you're going on your paper collecting from all the people who didn't pay you on Friday. And you do it again on Sunday, and then you do it again. You just keep, you know, knocking on the door, chasing them down for the paper money. And the paper money, the company sent you an invoice, and they didn't care if you collected the money or not.
Because they're like, you have to deliver.
Absolutely. You had, you know, for an example, you had 100 papers to deliver, and we're going to charge you $1 for every paper, but we're going to charge the customer $2.50, right? So you get $1.50 for every paper you deliver, or every month, or whatever that equals out to. But if that customer didn't pay you before the invoice came in, you had to cover that.
Yeah.
You had to cover that amount. The paper company didn't care that you didn't collect the money from the customer. And then it was up to you to either track them down, get the money, or cancel them from the subscription and turn in a notice to the paper company and say, don't charge me for this guy anymore because he's off my list. And then when they didn't get the paper, they called you, the customer service side of it. So, I mean, I'm going into detail just to, you know, very plainly say, you know, from the time, 13 years old into corporate America, those rules, that motivation, all of that just follows you, you know. And then all of a sudden you get into direct sales and you realize, okay, when I worked at corporate America, I had my job, right? I came in, I did my thing, whatever that was assigned to me. And I did that. I put that one hat on. But that entity itself, that corporate America itself, they had an advertising department, a marketing department, a research and development department, a leadership team, HR, customer service, all of these shipping, receiving, fulfillment, advertising, payroll, all these things. And they had all these people wearing all these different hats, right? Yeah. And they all showed up 8 to 5, and they all did and they're all down here at the bottom, and then they work up and they answer to a supervisor and they answer to a manager, right? That's the structure we're used to. When we go into direct selling, network marketing, whatever, right? It is a multi-level because there's many levels involved and it starts in your mind. The first level is the mindset of, I can do this. Second level is learning and getting training, right? Learning how to, learning about the product or the service that you're selling. You know, you can't just say, hey, buy this. And then you go, well, what is it? Well, I don't know, buy it. You can't do that, you know? Yeah. So in corporate America's advertising department, they had research and development. They had people who looked at analytics. They understood their buyers. They understood their needs and the niches. Well, now we've got to do all that for ourselves. Yeah. And the company that we're supporting, really, in their eyes, a lot of the times, we're just salespeople. We're called the field, right? Our job is to just sell, and we get 100% commission. And so then I thought, well, when I'm in direct sales, I'm going to reach out to those people who are already salespeople. Why not, right? They already are familiar with the 100% commission concept. They're not afraid to work when they need to work. They don't want to be micromanaged. But then they'd come back to me and go, well, I can make more money selling on corporate side than I could working on this. Why would I do this? And then now you're stuck like, oh, well, I thought I had the key, right? And now that's not the answer at all. It kind of went a long way around, but kind of gets back to, it's all up to you to make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think it definitely is. And like you said, you're wearing a lot of different hats. And I mean, I was in corporate America and I had an amazing job working in marketing strategy for an amazing leadership training company. And I learned a ton. I pretty much grew up there, but I wasn't wearing all the hats. I wasn't in every single department figuring out systems and how things are going to work. I was in charge of what was on my job description, and that's what I would do pretty much. And I think in direct sales, you do get kind of the exposure to think about how you want to run your business. And there's a lot of flexibility with that. So do you want to be doing in-person pop-up events? Do you want to be running online parties? Do you want to be running a subscription program where people are purchasing from you on a recurring basis? So you have a lot of flexibility in how you want to run your business. And when you choose that, you also get to kind of figure out like how you're going to do that, right? And there's replicated systems and there's training and there is a lot of that in place. But a lot of it is kind of just trying different things and testing it out and seeing what's working and seeing what's not working for you, or what your customers respond to might be totally different than what your upline or somebody on, your team might experience. And so you are getting the opportunity to wear all the hats and learn all the things. In my experience, like I said, in corporate America, I learned a lot, but stepping into direct sales, I had to figure out all aspects of my business. And I feel like that really set me up to be a small business owner and building my own business, because a lot of that I kind of got to test out in direct sales where I was already handed a proven product. So I think it's a great gateway for people that are thinking of opening their own business to get that exposure and learn what it feels like when somebody says, no, I'm not really that interested in that. Or, somebody says, you're crazy. Why are you selling that? What are you thinking, right? So when you learn all of those things and maybe get a taste of maybe this isn't for everyone, I think that just helps you grow a little bit more and can definitely set you up for even more success if you decide that you want to have your own small business down the road.
I really love what you just said. And people will come back and say, well, why are you selling that? And I think one of the biggest things that people have to do when they get into direct sales is they have to have a strong why, right? Mm-hmm. And it can't just be, well, I want to make more money, because you can make more money anywhere. I mean, snap your fingers. This is America. You can make money at the drop of a hat if you just go out there and get it. Yeah. So it's you have to have a why. So what would you recommend to someone in finding a why? That's just, you got to go deeper, right? It can't be. Right. And let me say this, is that a lot of times people's why is all about their family or their kids, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, I want to do it for my kids. I want to, build this business for my kids. Well, when the kids get older, guess what? They may not want your business, right? They may not have what it takes to be a direct seller. So, that might motivate you right now, and that's fine, but there's got to be a deeper why. And we talk about, in marketing, we talk about the fear of loss, the fear of missing out, the fear of, but there's a deeper reason. So what would you say to someone who just says, I don't know, I like the idea, I want to make some money, I like the product, it works for me, I thought I would share it with others. It seems kind of a flimsy why. There's got to be a deeper. How do people find their deeper why? It makes them get out of bed in the morning, motivate them to work on the days when they should be working and not going to the beach.
Right. I think that takes a lot of self-reflection, you know, and for me, when I first started out, my why was I was having babies and I wanted that flexibility and I wanted to be home more. And at one point I thought I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, and I quickly learned that's probably not my jam. I actually really love working, but I wanted to be a semi-stay-at-home mom. Like, I like to be there for pickup after school and drop off in the morning. I wanted the flexibility to be around when I wanted to be around and in control of my own schedule. For a lot of people, it's thinking about financial freedom and retirement and what those goals they have. And I think it's okay to recognize that your why can change over time. So what my why was a few years ago, like, check, I did that. Like, I made that happen. Then it kind of evolved into, well, I wonder if my husband could also be home and we could do this business together and he could have the flexibility that I had, so I think that it's okay that it evolves and it grows over time. And it does take a little bit of self-reflection. It is more than just, oh, I want to make $100 a week. Well, great. Like, what do you want to use that $100 for? Do you want to pay for your kids to have dance classes after school? Do you want to be able to go on that dream vacation next summer because $100 a week adds up and you'll have a nice little vacation fund? Like, what is it that's going to keep you motivated and excited? And I think that that usually is more than just the product. Like, you probably do love the product, which is amazing. That's why you're selling it, hopefully. But it goes beyond that and it goes deeper than that. I love Simon's next book on Find Your Why. That's a fantastic read if you're struggling with figuring out what that might be for you. But I think that keeping that front and center is really important. Like, I'm a big fan of goal setting. If you could see the other side of my office, I have whiteboards and I have notes all over, but there's certain things that I keep front and center of me all the time. What my sales goal is for the month, how many people I want in my membership program by the end of the month, how many people I want to reach this year in this industry, and having those goals and a lot of what kind of fuels you front and center, reminding you of what that goal is going to help you. If you put it as a screensaver on your phone or on your computer, or type it in as your password when you log into your computer, or stick it as a post-it note on your refrigerator, so every time you go get a snack, it's staring you right in the face, are all ways to stay connected to that why and what those goals are that you have in your business.
Yeah, that is amazing. Yeah, those are some really great practical tips and techniques to try to find your why, for sure. So let's talk about probably one of the biggest things that happens to people in this industry, and that is overcoming objections, right? No is part of everyday life, no matter where we go, no matter what we do. Even in corporate America, you're going to hear no. I want a raise. No. I want a day off. No. Okay. So we get used to hearing those no's. But why do people take it so personally when I say, buy this lotion, buy this makeup, buy this widget, and they go, no, I don't want that. It's a scam.
Yeah. First of all, you're going to get a lot of no's, right? Like, no matter what business you're in, some people are going to tell you no. And in direct sales, it's no different, except maybe you haven't heard no that often. I have a go for no challenge that I share with a lot of our members, where it's like, the more you ask, the more no's you're going to get, but that's one step closer to a yes. Yeah. And there's a ton of research out there on like rejection and getting no's and feeling like a failure, but it definitely thickens your skin a bit, and realizing that like, it's okay. Like, it's not a personal rejection. Like, they're just saying, nope, I'm not really into your thing right now, and I'm not going to purchase that. That's totally okay. Like, great. Thanks for letting me know. I'm going to go chat with the next person. Like, no big deal, right? I love the analogy. I don't know if you've heard this one before, about offering somebody a plate of cookies. So if you're hosting a party and you have a warm batch of freshly cooked chocolate chip cookies sitting on a plate, you would be rude if you didn't just offer them these cookies that are so good. But how often is it that you offer that cookie and somebody is like, well, is it gluten-free? Oh, I can't. Or, nope, I'm on a diet. Like, I can't eat that. Or, oh, it's a chocolate chip cookie. I don't really like that kind. And you would say, oh, no biggie. Like, you're just going to go to the next person at the party and offer them the cookie. So same kind of idea. Like, you're not going to get offended if somebody doesn't eat your chocolate chip cookies that you just baked. Same thing in your business. They're not rejecting you as a person. They're just saying that they don't really need your thing right now. And that's okay. And having that mindset and knowing that it's okay. Like, and that your thing is not for everyone. And you will find your people. You don't need everyone to be your people. You really just need a handful of loyal customers that love what you love as much as you do. And you're going to be fine in your business. It doesn't take your entire network and everyone you know buying your product. It only takes a handful that are really going to love it and share it with their friends for your business to grow.
I kind of reminds me of the commercial back in the 70s. There I am dating myself again. But I was a kid, okay, so it wasn't old. But I do remember this commercial. I think it was for Pert or Nair or something, and the screen started with one person said, "I love this product," and then two people came on and said, "I love this product," and two people told two people who told two people, and before you know it, the whole screen was filled with different tiles of all these people saying, "I love this product," and it made you want to run out to the store and buy this product. And I wasn't even in puberty yet, and I wanted to buy that product. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool marketing, and so that's kind of how it happens.
It's true. It's just word of it's word of mouth and sharing with one person, they share with somebody else, and your business continues to grow over time. That's really all that it takes, but it does take being really intentional and authentic and having those conversations and building those relationships to get to that spot.
And something I heard recently is that a confused consumer always says no. And our knee-jerk reaction is say, no, I don't want to learn about this right now. No, I'm too busy. No, I have too much on my mind. And no, I need all the money I've got because I'm, just lost my job. I'm whatever. I need to keep my money. I don't have time to invest in your business. And now I don't have time to learn something new. I have to go look for a new job when this could be the solution, right? So a confused consumer always says no. So at what point does a direct seller take on that responsibility to say, you know what, maybe you don't have enough information, and I don't want to offend you, but maybe I haven't done a good enough job in explaining how this could be a solution for you, versus feeling like I got to tell you everything you need to know so that you can do this, and this would be the solution for you, right? It's a fine line, right?
It is. And I feel like so often, people just word vomit. And we've all received those messages or those emails or those DMs or PMs, whatever it might be, where somebody just goes off on a tangent about how this is such an amazing company and such an amazing product and how it's going to change your life and how it's so great. And it just goes on and on and on. And you read it and you're like, whoa, I don't even want to know what you're like, right? Like that's definitely a turn off. And I think that just goes back to keeping things conversational and being able to ask questions and say like, well, is there something that you need more information about, or can I help you understand this better? Or really being able to provide things in different ways. So I think sometimes we think we have this one-page brochure, and that's the thing we're going to share when we're talking about our business. But a lot of times it takes them seeing a product demo, or it takes them having coffee with you and really having a conversation. So finding different tools in your toolkit that you can share with different people, because everyone learns differently and everyone has a different set of timing in their life too. So you might talk to somebody 2 months ago that's like, nope, not interested. Thanks for thinking of me, but not right now. 2 months later, they might have had their worst day ever at their corporate job, or maybe they've lost their job, or maybe they're in just a completely different mindset, and you reach back out and check in with them. So again, I think that just goes back to that relationship building framework where you're staying in front of your customers and potential customers. You're reaching out to them on a regular basis, you're having those conversations, and you truly are keeping it conversational. So it's not just let me just word vomit all the things on you, but you're having that back and forth dialogue, which is just going to take that conversation to the next step. And it might not be that day. Some people make split decisions. Other people, it's going to take weeks or months to really warm up and be ready to make a purchase or to learn more about the business side.
I think too, the evaluation when you first present someone, I think in their mind, they're thinking, okay, I have to do exactly what you're doing. If I do this with you, right? If I partner with you, then I have to go and do exactly the way you just presented to me. And so they're like, well, I don't know that I want to have a party in my house. I don't know that I want to do online sales. I don't know if I want to call and talk to strangers and do cold calls and, all of that. And so I usually tell people, look, it's like you wouldn't build a house with just a hammer. You wouldn't. You can't build a house with just a hammer. You need an assortment of tools, but
Right.
also you need an assortment of experts that can do the work with you, right? You're working together to build a house. And so just like you need those other tools, and yes, sometimes there's systems and you have to duplicate the system because the system has been proven to work. And so something else I heard recently is you never experiment when you're not having a good day, right? So like we always want to change the system when we're doing bad, right?
Yeah.
But the idea is don't change the system when you're having a down moment. Get yourself back up, have some sales, have some recruits, have some building, and then tweak it at that moment, right? Because then it's working. Now you can improve a little bit more. But it's all about duplication, right? So people are like, that's why they delay in giving an answer, right? They don't want to do it the way you're doing it. And so reassuring them that, you know what, I use a hammer on everything, right? Or I know people who use a hammer on everything, and I know other people who use a wrench.
Yeah.
An adjustable wrench, right? So you're going to adjust what's needed and get that wrench working in for them. And so, you can use whatever tool works best for you. Right. And talking about tools, one of the things that I got from you on Facebook when we first met was your PMs, DMs, and text guide. I absolutely love that guide. Is that available for people? Can they get that?
It is. Yes, they can. They can head right over to myconsultanttraining.com, and there is a product called Perfectly Crafted PMs, DMs, and Texts. And that's just another tool that you can add to your toolkit, which gives you some sample messaging as you're doing those reach outs and as you're building those relationships. Because I hear it time and time again, like, I want to reach out to people, I want to talk to people, and I want to share this amazing product or this business, but I don't really know what to say. So I basically created a handful of sample messages that you are able to adapt and customize. Of course, keep it authentic, but you can use those as you're connecting with other customers. And I think that, in the last couple of years, as I've really expanded my training, I've learned so much from so many other companies. So I think oftentimes we get stuck within our team, or we get stuck within our company, or even within the industry, and we're not looking at how other people are working their business. And I think there's a ton of value in learning from other direct sellers and how they're approaching their business, how they're building their business, so you don't get stuck and kind of siloed around just thinking this is the one way to do things, because there's definitely many ways to find success in this industry. And you may be taught one way, but it may not be right for you. And you might be looking for another way of doing things, and finding a community that you're able to connect with and learn from others, and following training providers and hearing how they're training other direct sellers and network marketers can really help you grow your business, so you're not stuck just doing things the same way maybe you've always done them or you've always been told to do it.
And I will just add this little disclaimer there, that if you are going to go off the rails and not follow your company's system, just make sure you're staying compliant. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, definitely. Read those policies and procedures. That's important.
Yeah, but I mean, just like, there's so many different people, there's so many variations of the human mind and the human behavior, not one cookie cutter way is going to reach every person.
Exactly.
Let's talk about the chicken list. Have you heard of
that?
Chicken list. The list of people. I don't believe in the chicken list. I don't think there's ever a need for a chicken list unless you're making a recipe. But people will have their hot market, warm market, cold market, chicken list.
Yep. So your chicken list are those people that you're chicken to talk to, right? So those are the people that you're like, for one reason, deep down inside, you're like, don't make me talk to them. Like, I know that they would be great for this product, they'd be great in this business, but for some reason, there's something holding you back. And I think that you got to conquer that, right? Like, you got to reach out to those people on your chicken list, step out of your comfort zone, build relationships with people that might not be in your immediate network or might feel like a stretch, or maybe they're at a different stage in their business or their life and you might feel uncomfortable talking to them, but you're only going to grow when you're talking to people like that. So I definitely encourage you to reach out to the chicken list. It's important. Reward yourself. If you talk to 5 people on your chicken list, like go treat yourself to ice cream or a massage or whatever your thing is. Reward yourself when you go ahead and make those connections, because it can be uncomfortable to do, but it is really important as you're growing.
Absolutely. And I think approaching the chicken person on the list, the chicken list, approaching that prospect, it takes a different kind of behavior or mindset than you would someone else that you're not a chicken to talk to, right?
Right.
So what's one good practical way to approach somebody on your chicken list?
Oh gosh. I mean, there are so many ways, but I mean, with social media, you can kind of keep an eye on what people are doing, right? So if it's somebody that you're connected with on social, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, whatever platform you're playing on, you can usually see what they're up to. So really simple, just commenting on their photos, engaging and responding to their Instagram stories, just starting to kind of be friendly and chit chat back and forth is gonna start building that relationship with that person. So if it's somebody you've never talked to before, right? You want to get to know them first, and you want to hear what they're up to, and you want to learn about them before you try to, sell them on something that you have in your business. So I, again, just go back to relationship building and getting to know somebody, or, letting them know like, hey, I've been following what you're up to, and I think what you're doing is amazing. I'd love to hear more about whatever, right? And when you ask questions, it's going to prompt a response. So sometimes it feels uncomfortable, especially on social media, to ask a direct question. But when you're asking those questions, people are going to engage back and respond back to you, and you can start that dialogue and build that relationship in that conversation. You'll hear a big theme in everything that I train on. It's all about relationships and building those relationships and making those connections. There's no magic secret or magic formula or shortcut to do that. It truly is all about relationships and getting to know people and learning how you can best serve them.
I love that last thing you said is, how can you best serve them? Because sometimes people will approach the relationship building with an ulterior motive, right? They'll say, well, I'm going to stalk them on Facebook. I'm going to respond, just do all the things that you practically mentioned. And if you have a genuine heart, you can build a good relationship. But a lot of people will be, well, I'm going to comment and I'm going to like, and you can tell when they type.
So you can see it a million miles away, right?
Absolutely. You can tell when they're genuine. And so really you want to come at it from a place of service. And that's really the key to success is, how can I better serve you? What can I do to make things better for you? And, that's what I do in my business. I just help people, and I'm their advocate, not the salesperson, right? I go to bat for them. I go to bat. I try to find things. And I think that's kind of how you and I met too, is I reached out. I was watching you. I was following you. I wasn't stalking you. You were
building a relationship.
Even before I ever reached out to you, I was following what you were doing. The posts you were making were changing my life. They were so impactful to me. I was like, oh man, I've got to meet Becky. I mean, I really want to know more about her and reach her, because her posts are changing my life, and she's changing thousands and thousands of people and making an impact for them. And I was like, I bet my audience would really love to hear from her. And so that's kind of what drove me to reach out to you and just have this conversation. So
well, I appreciate that. And I think, as you're living in this digital world and we're sharing things on social media, I think coming at it from a place of service and providing value is really what is going to bring people into your circle, right? So if you're providing value and you're sharing best practices and things that have worked and giving tips and, being there to offer that kind of information to your audience, they're just going to connect more and more with you and appreciate you more. And that's going to take your business to a whole new level as well.
Yeah. Absolutely. So let me just insert this real quick. If you got questions for Becky, you got comments about our conversation, we've gone quite a ways. We're almost at the end of the show, but go ahead and drop your comments in there. She's going to be monitoring the comment box over the next couple of days. So, she'll be here to answer those questions for you, and just drop them in there. And Becky, tell everybody real quick, how can they connect with you? If they want to go through your academy, or they want to download a tool, or just they want to build that relationship with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, thanks, Lori. So I am on Instagram at Becky Launder. I also have a website called myconsultanttraining.com, where you can find a ton of freebies, a ton of blog posts, training videos, all the things are on my website. And then I do have an amazing group of direct sellers in our Modern Direct Seller Academy, where you receive access to all of my course content, all of my downloads. We do monthly masterminds, we do graphics, we have guest speakers that come in. It's just a truly amazing community where you have access to me, but also you get that opportunity to network and connect with other direct sellers and hear what is working in their businesses. So you can borrow ideas as needed. And you can find out more about the Academy over at moderndirectselleracademy.com.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And yeah, I'll definitely respond to any comments over here in the chat too. So
I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of comments. So
good. Fantastic. I can't wait. Bring them on.
And so we're going to wrap this up. I want to ask you, what is one, we always ask our guests to give one tip of wisdom, a golden nugget of wisdom or inspiration back to the audience. What would you say to them to help them in their direct sales ventures?
Yeah. Oh gosh. I mean, I have a lot to say in this department, but I mean, I said this probably 400 times during our interview here, but it really all goes back to relationship building. So if you're authentic and you're genuine and you're building that relationship and being intentional about it every single day, your business will grow. I have a formula on my website that I call 3 + 3 + 3 = 3,000. So that's reaching out to 3 current customers, 3 potential customers, and 3 potential teammates every single day. And if you do that for a year, that's over 3,000 relationships that you've cultivated and you've created. So if I could leave you with that, get in your inbox, send those emails, pick up the phone, make calls, send DMs, PMs, texts, whatever your thing is. And it doesn't always have to be about business. It can just be offering value or tips or checking in with people. And yeah, your business, it'll grow. I guarantee it.
That's an amazing tip. Man, I'm going to call my math teacher from grammar school and say, did you know that 3 + 3 + 3 = 3,000?
Exactly, right?
This is the new economy math. Right?
Yes, yes, exactly. Get to those three. Think about what that would do for your business. And I know, Lori, you're doing it, bringing guests on the show and connecting with people every day. But when you reach 3,000 people in a calendar year, like there's no going back. Like your business is going to blow up as a result of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow, I have never heard that formula before. So that I'm going to start applying that in all of the different things that I do. So and before I know it, I'm going to have 120,000.
There you go. You can just, if you really want your business to blow up, just multiply that a couple of times.
Absolutely. Yeah. Becky, thank you so much for coming on the show. I know you brought an amazing
for having me.
Audience. And like I said, if you have any comments for Becky, please drop them in the box. She's going to be monitoring over the next couple of days. And if you want to be a guest on the Dunham Business Radio show, it's really super easy. Just send in your bio and your picture, your company logo if you've got one, and your personal cell phone number. That's really important. Include all of that into an email back to DunhamBusinessRadio@gmail.com. You can also refer your friends, other people, and if you have a topic that you want to hear an expert talk about, just shoot us an email. Let us know. We are here for you. I am here for you. I really deeply appreciate all your support, and please share this video out to anybody you know who's trying to make a business on their own. And if there's something we can do to help you, just let us know. And thank you again. And until next week, everybody, stay on top of the world.
Thanks for listening to the Dunham Business Radio Show. Be sure to follow us at Dunham Business Radio and check out DunhamBusinessRadio.com for more info.
I'm on top of the world, now I'm living, and the good just gets better, keeps on giving. Not even close to the end, it's just beginning. Life is getting lighter while the days are getting brighter.